Welcome to Reaper's Underground. We hope you survive.
What is up, my demons, on a Friday night? It is time to pour that double shot, as this is a double shot Reapers Underground week. Thank you to everybody that tuned in Wednesday night for Bridget Byron, actress and clown. Totally appreciate that, guys. She's tickled pink. She had a great time. But tonight, we're going back to one of my favorite things in the whole wide world in the underground, and y'all know exactly what that is, and that's metal. I have the great Grim from Embodiment, celebrating 30 years of death metal and destroying your eardrums. And we're so excited to have him on tonight, and we're going to be talking about this huge 30-year career and everything that they're doing and about to do, and all kinds of excellent debacles here this evening. But before we get started, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our brothers at Villain Arts Tattoos. Check that shit out. That's right. Y'all know what to do. I tell you every fucking week. Villain Arts Tattoo Convention's the largest in the United States. If they come to your city, your state, your town, make sure you get your asses over there and get a high quality tattoo from some of the best in the business, and support tattooing and piercing and all the fun stuff. Not to mention, I will be making a few appearances there the rest of the year, so you'll be able to come hang out with the big bad devil daddy himself. All right. So it has been a blast listening to your stuff this week. Welcome, Grim, to the show. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah. Now, you guys are out of Tennessee. What part of Tennessee are you guys based in?
Dixon, Tennessee. It's like 35 minutes from Nashville.
Hell yeah. Can't beat that. Y'all can go see any of the great concerts that fucking come through there. Oh, it's one of the best things about Nashville. Awesome. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Used to not be that way as far as metal goes, but it's definitely lightened up years.
Oh yeah, it's changed a little bit because they realize that there are still great metal bands out there, and they do draw a crowd. So, but let's talk about this killer fucking career. Being in the underground and as a drummer of 30 plus years, because I did a lot of death metal in Ohio myself, the first part of my career, being able to say that you have been able to keep this thing going for as long as you have is almost unheard of. It's quite a feat. I'm sure it's not without its bruises, though. with member changes and shit like that. So, tell us how it all started, man.
Well, Dixon 30 years ago was so small. It's still kind of small, but it's grown quite a bit. But you're talking 94, so there's no internet. To make a call outside of town, it's all long distance.
Yup.
It being the Bible Belt, but also being such a small town, there were virtually no one here that knew what death metal was.
Right.
And even being 35 minutes from Nashville, people didn't want to, oh man, I got to drive that far to practice. So you couldn't get anybody to kind of come in without having any clout. And, we're all young and we have zero clout because we're just kids, So luckily I knew the only 3 other people in this town that knew what death metal was. Unfortunately, none of those guys really liked each other.
I know how that can be. Shit.
And so I spent the summer just on the phone bugging these guys and just convincing everybody that we should get together and form this band and try to do something. And so there you have it.
Hell yeah. What were some of the bands that influenced you? I mean, Death and Dying Fetus and Obituary and all of them were just really starting to get the thing out there. What were some of your influences to get it started?
Well, again, being in the Bible Belt, we were kind of under a rock here. So I mean, if you were lucky and had MTV and caught the Headbangers Ball, that's kind of where a lot of us discovered death metal, because they would have like Enter the Pit segment where they'd play death videos. And I saw Death, Morbid Angel, Napalm Death, Obituary, and immediately all that kind of grabbed my attention, and just already knew about Sepultura, and they were borderline death metal,
very much so in those early records,
school days, and very death thrash, so I was already up on some Sepultura stuff, and we just that's all the stuff that the 3 of us really, or the 4 of us, really enjoyed, and we tried to emulate that the best we could without ripping it off.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a formula to it. Just to kind of show one of those old school photos. Was that the lineup at the time?
No, that would cut. Well, the one of the guys in that picture is one of the original members. We had been through several musical chair kind of things, and
absolutely,
myself and the one guy in the picture that was part of it, Jay Owens. He is a left-hander, so we call him the man with the devil hand. And he
left hand
brought. Oh yeah, he brought some creepy doom value to the band.
Nice,
very thrashy, but just his riffs were just doomy in a sense, and
like Chugalicious and big chords.
Yeah, really, really big on the chords, and then his solos just were really chaotic. Like he was big, Slayer fan, so of course.
So he was at the school of Jeff Hanneman.
Yeah, very, very much so. Mixed with like Randy Rhoads, but you wouldn't catch the Randy Rhoads from it. If you knew, you knew. It was there, but it wasn't on the flashy side, and I don't know, is what it is. I mean, it was very old school. By the time the late 90s rolled around, we were branded old school, and I know a lot of the labels were shifting more to the newer, brutal, death metal. And so at that time it was considered like a black mark. Oh, you're old school. We don't want nothing to do with you. But that's just what we did. We didn't know anything else. We liked it.
Right. And everything comes around too, because I mean, we still have a lot of people to this day. Some people, discovering the old school death metal albums, especially like all the addicts that come to the Tracks of the Damn show. And we go through a lot of different, old school albums, and they're like, oh, this shit is fantastic. Wish I was, around at that time. I'm like, well, it was few and far between, because like you said, internet was not there. Dial-up did not happen until close to 2000. So, I mean, I was right there with you, with you guys. I found out about all the bands through Hit Parader, Circus Magazine, Kerrang, and stuff like that. And of course, Headbangers Ball, until it got a little corny here and there, a little too corporate. And it was kind of like, this ain't so cool anymore.
Playing Nirvana on the Headbangers Ball, when they've played it all day long, it was kind of like, come on, guys, really?
Right. The record companies were pouring money into that shit to really cram it down everyone's throats. But Cody here. Hey, what's up, brother? And everybody out there in the attic section says definitely have a heavy death feeling of influence in the music. Yes, definitely. Early death, mind you. Not the weird kind of like proggy part that they kind of evolved into, but voice-wise, definitely. I even hear possibly a little bit of Chris Barnes in your voice as well, which is so fucking great. But the thing is, though, you got those great guttural lows, and then you can mix it up with the highs, kind of like a Glenn Benton. Deicide is huge with me, so I noticed that right away. Fuck yeah.
Big influence. All that early death metal stuff was just a huge influence on us, and was just taking bits and pieces. David Vincent took from him and Chuck Schuldiner was pronunciation.
Yeah.
Important to understand what the lyrics are. And, I guess if we were more of a gore grind band, it wouldn't matter. But, being in a death metal band, I really strive to pronunciation is important.
Oh man, it's very key. Corpse Grinder, George Fisher definitely, showed us the power of when you do over enunciate like that, and people actually get to figure out what it is you're saying. Then they go, "Ooh, I love this even more."
Yeah.
The sicker, the better, Hey, what's happening, Aaron and Lizzie? Good to have y'all. Awesome, man. Awesome. So just to kind of, reiterate, because my crowd out there from week to week is always a mixed bag, from people almost half a century old like myself. And then I have much younger viewers as well. So, I want to reiterate to Morgrot Universe that when they started this band, Embodiment, this was a time where you had to tack flyers on flagpoles. You had to practically beg any radio station to play you if they would do a local showcase, if you're lucky. That was kind of a rarity. You really had to be super popular in order to get that done.
Well, it wasn't just that, like trying to get shows in Nashville. They would have band, like if you were like Pantera heavy or whatever, they would look. But if you said that you were death metal, oh no, we don't do that here.
What?
And so getting shows, we finally got to play some gigs in Clarksville, Tennessee, And we got hooked up from this other band called The Beast, and they got us in the door, and then things started happening, but we still couldn't really play Nashville. So we would flyer Nashville, which is like an hour away or
Right.
so, and we would flyer Nashville for our Clarksville shows, and
Fuck
we
yeah.
started getting some attention from that. They were like, "You're gonna flyer all the way here for that?" And I was like, "Yeah." I remember our guitarist Jay. We were flying this big club called the Cannery, and we were just flying it. And he was like, "What is that for? That ain't one of my shows." And Jay was like, "Yeah, that asshole that books the shows here, he won't book us." And he was like, "Well, nice to meet you." And it was, yeah, it was.
I love it.
And yeah, it was great. And eventually, after clawing tooth and nail, we got to play some of the bigger clubs in Nashville, and it was just perseverance and just really just not giving up. And but it was tough. Definitely guerrilla warfare, flying every pole, putting flyers in those newspaper stands, because you could put a quarter in it and open it up.
Yep.
And put your flyer in the front, so that's all they see. Going to Tower Books or music stores, throwing flyers in Hit Paraders or Metal Maniacs or Rolling Stones, whatever the fuck, just putting them everywhere. And I still do that, actually, to this day. I haven't given up on flyers. I do everything old school, which is why it's harder to find us on social media, because we've really kept it old school. But that's changing this year. I'm putting everything up and kind of giving in to some of the necessary evil, if you will.
Sadly. There's so much good and bad about these things. Obviously, everybody and their fucking mother is a Facebooker or an Instagram whore, as some people call it. It's just a quick, easy way to network with bands that are in a regional, touring circuit. It's a great way to put shows together. Obviously connect direct with fans that like what you do. That's always a good thing. And it spreads the word. Bands like us in those days, we couldn't reach Europe if we fucking mailed it over there in a box. It's like, as soon as you get your shit on Spotify, people all over the world, they're still like our mentality. They see a really cool, front cover or a logo for the band, or if they're looking for a new death metal band to listen to, it gets suggested to them. So it's also a great way to start fan bases around the world. But yeah, I mean, I really admire that about you, trying to just keep it as old school as possible, because in my opinion, it really makes you more exciting. Like, why won't they put any of this stuff on here? It's like exclusive. If you want to get a copy of your album, they got to go fucking see a show. I think that's genius.
Yeah. We're keeping some things, back, but mainly I'm putting a lot of it up just for my children. It's really not for doing it for to get the band even more notarized or anything like that. It's just so that when I'm gone, if the internet and all this still exists, my kids can kind of look it up and they can be like, "Oh, that's what my dad did." And so that's more the bottom line of why I'm putting it all up.
No, man, that's even more punk rock shit.
Yeah. So,
I mean, Glenn Danzig was the same way, coming up in the Misfits, and until he ended up with Rick Rubin later on down the line. But he was all about just doing everything in-house and just play anywhere they could get a show, and constantly like reinvesting into the band. So
Oh,
tell me a little bit about, after you guys got started, did you end up doing any out-of-state shows or anything like that?
oh yeah. At late '90s, we did the circuit quite a bit. I mean, we didn't go too far north, but
Right.
we just kind of kept it around, and then um, into the 2000s, we were having issues with a bunch of other embodiments. So for a short period, ended up changing the name to Death Before Dying, and I moved to Florida and did a few records at Eric Rutan's studio, Mana, and did pretty well. And then that actually got I opened up for Massacre, and the band that we were in, we opened for Massacre, and then Roz was doing a brand new band, and we started talking, and then we ended up playing in a band together for a little bit called The End.
Oh, nice.
Which turned into me, Massacre reuniting, and turned into me playing bass for Massacre for a minute.
Oh.
And then hurricane happened. I moved back to Tennessee and said, fuck those other embodiments. That was 2018. Fucking running the embodiment banner again, and we're just going to do it because that's who we are. And the other name sounded more deathcore, but that's not what it was meant to be. It was still old school death metal, but people thought it was deathcore, so they didn't really buy into it, even though it was really good music. When they heard it, they were like, oh wow, this is old school death metal. And it was like, yeah. It's like, I was just trying to come up with a name nobody fucking had.
Cannot tell you how fucking tough that is to come up, especially this day and age. It's like you find out, not like before, because now obviously with the internet and everything, it's a lot easier to figure out that there's more than one band going by the same name, which absolutely fucking sucks. So again, I think that's also kind of the genius of what you guys did, kind of going under different band names at different times. But yeah, I can definitely see how that, because that's actually something I was going to ask. Did you notice a shift in the crowd, or did most of the same fans you started out with, they follow you through? Or
yeah, a lot of the hardcore fans, they followed through.
Sweet.
The band kind of got more professional as it went. I guess that was due to being older and
right.
at that, more savvy to the game and whatnot. And
there's no better education than just doing it firsthand when you're young and you make all your mistakes, and then by the time you're 30, you're like, ain't gonna do that shit again.
Exactly. And I've fucked up a lot, but
we all have.
You learn from it and you move on, and luckily
Yes.
I never did drugs, and I didn't start drinking until I was 28, and even then I casually drink. So I've always been, music is my priority.
Hell yeah, man. I can honestly say in the last, I haven't been drunk in almost a decade. I'm a sipper. A sipper, not a shooter. It's like, you reach a point in life where, sure, it was fun back in the day to see how ridiculous we could be. And then you puke a couple hundred times. And it's like, nope, don't want to do that shit no more. Fuck that. Oh, man. So Cody says, I've definitely jammed out at work to Prophecies of Sickness a few times. I was 2 when Embodiment was formed, laughing my ass off. That's awesome. Kyler says, I may be young, but I grew up on old stuff. Yes, you did. You were raised
Very.
right. What's up, Austin? Austin says, AKA an addict of social media. Yeah, most people are. Babylon says, leaving a digital memory or a thumbprint. Yes, we want. It's a lot easier nowadays to leave that legacy. You know, some of us will never reach certain levels, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, though, shit, nobody loves you than your backyard. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's the most support that, you know, bands like yourself and so many others. But, you know, Bandcamp is probably the only online tool that I think is actually more for the artist. And there are some smaller labels like Morgrot Records that really does get behind their bands, and they exist for the band, you know. You know, it's not all about money, people. Fuck yeah, Aaron. Aaron says, film immortality is my plan. Absolutely, brother. You know, because, you know, in recent years, I've kind of crossed over from, you know, being in a band and being on a label and stuff to acting. So I'm doing a lot of indie horror film now, which I really enjoy. And that's really what it's all about, man. Getting our creativity out there. And our kids will forever know it. And hopefully they'll pass that on to their grandkids one day. One day. No time soon. Right.
Yeah,
Morgrot Magazine.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. It's easy when you're in a band and you start going and things are going well. It's easy to get caught up in, oh, we got to get signed. And I got caught up in that. And then you start losing sight what's important. And that's the music. And, you know, when you get to a certain point and you've been on indie labels and you've done this, that, and the other, and it kind of comes back down to, well, you know, I don't give a fuck who hears it, as long as whoever does hear it enjoys it. And that, you know, makes their day. That's my payment for me. But we're just going to do what we do, and that's all we can do. And it's about the creativity and the art. And
yes,
that's what we do.
That's honestly one thing that I think Rick Rubin said really good is that he never recommended to any bands that he worked with that the music is not made for the fans. It's made for the people that are making it, because that's your heart and soul. You know what I mean? Your blood, sweat, and tears that you're putting into it. So, yeah, like I said, y'all know the underground. That's where the true, humble, passionate creators are. So we're going to check out one of your tracks that is currently, I hope you all are listening out there in Morgrot land, that some tracks can be found on YouTube. And we'll definitely get that up in the chat here a little bit later so you guys know or have a direct link to check this stuff out. So let's check out this banger of a tune. Hell yeah. Just because I know YouTube is just waiting to hit me with a copyright of some sort. We always have to keep it just a little short so I can stay ahead of those fucks. Can't stand that shit.
No.
Hell yeah. Morgrot says, looking forward to seeing Embodiment and Doom Factor live soon. And you do have a Morgrot show coming up as well. Is that the night in the Morgue 3? I think it is.
3. Yep, December 6th.
You heard it here.
I also sing for
the 6th.
Doom Factor.
Oh, do you?
Doom Factor's drummer used to be in Embodiment back in the day, and he played double duty like 97. So when I moved back to Tennessee in 2018, he rejoined the band, and then past couple of years he revamped Doom Factor, which they've been around since 93, so 31 years on them. And so we're just kind of helping each other out. He's played drums for me, and I sing for him, so it works.
Man,
Doom Factor
can't beat that.
For epic, I guess.
Nice. I mean, that's good that you're able to get, different creative stuff out in multiple bands. I've done like a million side projects myself and always have like my main band that I play for. But is Doom Factor like different, or is it still basically old school death metal?
It's different on the level of the songs are like 6 to 7 minutes long, and
okay,
they are brutal as they're brutal. But I really, so much influence goes into Doom Factor. It's groove, but it's brutal. The drum work is like Gene Hoglan style.
Oh, okay.
But more blast. And so the drummer, Robbie, he writes a good 90% of everything. He's a guitar player as well. So
shit.
Doom Factor to me is more orchestrated. It's more composed than it is. But it's symphonic. It's not symphonic.
No.
But writing wise, to me, he tries to tell these epic stories through the music, but then the lyrics are like they're just like satanic or gory or whatever. It's just whatever it is. Yeah. It's definitely a marathon. So doing both bands back to back, goddamn.
It's exhausting.
It's definitely something. You got to eat your.
Oh man, especially at our age, shit.
Yeah.
Which is why at this point in my career, I'm doing more like death doom or what they call funeral doom, which is a little bit more on the black metal tip, but it's extremely slow as well. So I mean, I still get to do my double kicks and shit, but
Yeah. No, definitely have to check it out.
Absolutely. It's called Human the Hoofed Beast.
Oh, very nice.
I'll have to send you some of the tracks. We're getting ready to release this album. The final track just got a mix down. So everybody out there in the Morgrot universe that's been waiting, it's almost time. Thank fuck. What a long process. See, you got it easy. You got all your soldiers right there living in the same spot. We are states apart. It was the strangest. I can't explain this enough. The strangest way of recording where it's just me in the studio and the guitar, the bass, the vocal tracks are getting fed into my earphones.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess you could teach an old dog a new trick, I guess.
Well, the technology has kind of come around the where you
has
to do stuff like that. I imagine it's an experience.
Oh, for sure. Hopefully one that you won't have to deal with. But that's what I get for being up here in old Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Yes, sir.
I can't even imagine a Nebraska winter.
It's surprisingly, yeah. Surprisingly, it's not as brutal as it used to be, with the Mother Nature not figuring out, she's either on the rag or off the rag. It may be real cold, but we just don't get those big snows like we used to. So I'm actually kind of thankful for that, because then my truck doesn't get stuck. Oh, shit. Cody says, move to Tennessee. I got so many motherfucking fans in Tennessee. I bet you if I did move there, I could do so much more. And believe me, myself and Cody out there, the filer of the Crown Art, we did some horror cons together down there. The people were just amazeballs. Yep.
Oh,
yeah. I agree. Morgoth Magazine says, yeah, Reaper, Tennessee is where it's at. I'm telling you, man, it's fucking gorgeous, but it's also weird at the same time in its construction. But it's a beautiful state, and I do have big love for it. All right. So what has been the most brutal mosh pit you ever played in front of?
Oh.
One that even made you go, wow.
Yeah. That's well, in the 90s it would have to be we opened for Nile and Morbid Angel at the 8th day.
Wow.
And it was Morbid Angel's first time in Tennessee.
Oh,
at
no
that
shit.
point.
Wow.
Yeah. And because it was the Bible Belt, so
right.
It took this club. We were doing pretty good at this club, packing it out, being a death metal band, and the owner, Sonny, was like, "Hey, I want to bring in national acts. Who would you suggest?" And I was like, "Fucking Morbid Angel." And a few weeks later, I get a phone call, and he was like, "So, how'd you like to open for Morbid Angel?" I was like, "Don't be fucking with me. Like,
right.
I just told you." And then now you're like, he's like, "No, really, I got them coming." It was the Formula's Fatal to the Flesh.
Yes. Excellent album.
Yeah. I was like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. But the whole time leading up, I was like, this ain't gonna happen. There's no way this is gonna happen. Sure. But it did, and I was like a kid
in a fucking candy store.
Yeah, I would say in the 90s it would be that show, but in the 2000s, I would say in Florida we did a show with Vital Remains,
and another excellent band.
Yeah, the stage was pretty much on the floor, so everything erupted onto the stage.
Yep.
Like, it was just nuts. And so I would say that would be more in the 2000s. So
nice. I remember those shows. That's why we always used to bring our biggest friends with us, so that if people were getting a little too close to an amp or a microphone stand or something like that, be able to just push them back and be like, nothing personal, man. Hell yeah. I'd have to say the largest pit that I ever played in front of was about 1,500 people, and we had opened up for Lamb of God.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That was pretty crazy back in Cleveland at the Agora. Just body, it's like, it's so funny to watch bodies fly around. The only thing I never really cared for are those that crowd surf. So fucking annoying. Man, yeah, you'll definitely have to check out the interview that myself and John Sorrell from Morgrot Magazine when we interviewed David Vincent. He was one hell of an interesting guy.
Yeah, I met him at the NAMM show in 2004, and super nice guy.
Yep, intelligent as fuck.
Very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
What is your? Dave. Yeah, definitely. What is your guitar of choice?
BC Rich. I play an Ironbird.
Nice.
It's one of the newer ones.
Hell yeah.
I retired. I had a 1981 Rich Bitch, but I had to retire.
And, still a classic though.
Oh yeah. Yep, for sure. I'm having to be in my car because I have a 3-year-old that is
being a 3-year-old. Yep. Yeah. Trust me. I know how that goes. Let's see.
My phone, I had to go fetch the cable.
We're losing you just a little bit there. Are you still with us?
All right. Let's try that now.
Okay. Should be better. Austin says, me living in Massachusetts, I never know. You. Oh, you lost me. What the fuck? That's all right. He will come back in as soon as he comes back in. In the meantime, Austin says, me living in Massachusetts, I never know when we're getting winter anymore. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's late. Sometimes it's on time and drives me nuts. Man, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't mind the winters up here because they are mild, but motherfucker, man, when it's like brutally cold and the doors on the vehicle, you got to melt the ice off of them just to fucking get in. That's what sucks, the ice. The snow, I can handle the snow, but ice fucking blows. There we go. I think we got him back. I think we do. Hopefully so. All right. While we're trying to fix that, we're going to check out the second track. And I know you guys are going to dig this one already. Check it Man, Diabolical Descent. So good. Not sure why we don't have his mic. There we go. We should have you back. Try it now. Got to get your mic working. Not sure what's going on there. Shit. Hopefully that works. Yes, totally a badass fucking track there. Sorry about the technical difficulties. It does happen sometimes when we're doing it from our phone. In Tennessee, I also noticed that the internet around there doesn't like to work. But yeah, just a sick fucking track. definitely check out all the songs that they have on YouTube, which is Embodiment. I'll get that up here for you guys one more time. All you have to do is type in the band name, and you see this symbol there. That's their logo. You'll definitely be able to catch the rest of their brutally tasty stuff. We're just waiting for him to get back in. And in the meantime, like I said, you can definitely catch them in December at the Morgue Rot Night in the Morgue 3 show. I believe he said it was December 6th. Cody says, see, it's not just my internet. I don't feel as bad about cutting out now. Man, it fucking sucks. That's why I'm always like, if y'all can use a laptop, it's so much fucking better. Well, I guess it does really depend on the internet, but when it comes to phones, depending upon where the service is or what the service is or the tower, your chances of getting cut out is unfortunate. But he should be back as soon as he gets a signal. And just so you guys know, in a couple of weeks, literally no one is safe. That's right. I'm going to be filming the long-awaited sequel for Attack of the Corn Zombies, known as Return of the Corn Zombies. And since my zombie character didn't die in the first one, I get to come back and eat a whole brand new cast of unfortunate souls. So let's check out the trailer real fast.
While we continue to monitor this developing story, we have nothing new to report since communication went silent. The last transmission received was for everyone to shelter in place and travel only if life or limb are threatened. We will continue bringing you the latest information until it is no longer safe to do so. This is Steve Romeo, hoping I am not signing off for the last time using these words. Do not eat the corn.
All right. I think we got him back, hopefully. I think he may have froze yet again. Damn it. I'm not getting anything on my end, and it still shows that your microphone is muted. I'm not sure what the dealio is, but exactly right there, Austin. It's going to be a great fucking sequel, and it should come out about as fast as the first one did. So definitely, I will keep you up to date on that. You'll get all the tasty behind the scenes from the shooting of that film. Just in 2 weeks, guys. He's back again, and we're going to try to see if we can get him in. Success, I think. Are you there, brother? Are you there? Okay.
Damn.
Oh, now I heard him. Is it a little better now? I think he froze again. Are we in real time finally? There we go.
Yeah, I think so.
Gotta love fucking technology, you know? Sharks!
Yeah.
But so we were talking about your choice of guitar, to which I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So, do you do most of the riff writing for the band?
Definitely BC Rich.
Mm-hmm. Are you the one that primarily writes the riffs for the band? Ah, shit. Keeps cutting out, unfortunately. All righty, everybody. But again, it's kind of hard to find their stuff online at the moment until they get some of their catalog put up onto streaming services. And I will definitely keep you, excuse me, y'all up to date when they do that and where to go. But like I said, on YouTube, Embodiment can be found there. And you can get, they have 6 tracks up there and some other tracks that are really cool too. So you can rock out to what they got. And, you know, if you're in the Tennessee area and they're playing anywhere between Nashville, Clarksville, and anybody around there, definitely get to the show. If you like what they do, it's old school death metal. You're going to want to buy the album for sure. And they got all kinds of great merch too. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to get him back. But you can follow Embodiment on Facebook. And you can also follow Grimm at Michael Grimm on there and shoot him a message. Say, hey, man, I want to buy some of your stuff. I'm sure he would be more than happy to. I'm going to try to pull him back in. There he is.
Jesus.
It's one of those fucking things, man. Gotta love it.
I guess so. I live in town too. It ain't like I live in the sticks. Jesus Christ. It's like, what's going on tonight?
Oh, man. Who fucking knows? So I was just getting done telling everybody, you know, where to find you on Facebook, as well as, of course, the YouTube channel that you guys got. Let's go ahead and plug any upcoming shows that you got next up.
Yeah, let's see. September 13th, we're at the Florida Extreme Metal Fest in Tampa. Then after that, November 16th, we're doing a big 30th anniversary show. And number 6, that's right now. Next year, we're excited our next months. All places that we have and up on streaming sites and as
hell yeah,
trying to get all the band camps and all that stuff on, and just trying to get my T's dotted and my I's crossed.
Right. Awesome. Well, it's been a blast hanging out with you tonight. Definitely thank you for taking the time and joining us here on a Friday night. Always a fucking blast. Thank you to everybody that showed up tonight as well. Totally appreciate that shit more than you guys know. And for the fans that have been watching you and the new ones you've made tonight, what is your lasting message for them?
Never give up. And keep on. Support the underground.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Humble as fuck as always. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow night on More Raw Entertainment, the return of the goddamn program, so you can get your weekend dose of sin and all that is blasphemous all in one show tomorrow night, 8 p.m. And again, thank you all for tuning in tonight. And Michael for hanging out with us as well. Look forward to all the rest of your success, the rest of your journey. And we'll definitely be looking for all the back albums that y'all are putting on. But the most important thing to always remember, stay heavy.